Hey everyone, welcome back into the channel. Just wanted to do a quick video for you today, walking through some of the things that I've been working on in my practice, show you a couple of the changes that you will see, and hopefully continued changes coming up as I continue to work toward improving my golf swing. I'll go ahead and jump right into some of the tweaks that I'm working on and some of the comparisons as well from my previous videos, previous golf swings. Let's jump right into it. These clips here I've got today are just from a practice session from out in the yard, hitting a few balls, working on some of the changes that we are trying to implement. The first one is just from the very beginning, trying to work on getting that elbow tucked in, as you can see, trying to get that one pointed more towards the ground, and then working on the goal of getting that wrist set a little bit earlier. As you can see, that one we did a pretty good job of about halfway through the backswing, and once we get to the top it is much more on plane. Another thing that you'll notice in some of my previous videos is I definitely get across the line at the top, and that's creating all kinds of issues as I come back down to the downswing, unable to really get it shallowed at all and producing that over the top swing as well. So those are some of the main keys, really working on getting that wrist set a little bit early so we can hold on to that face, as you can see with that practice motion, and then getting it up at the top, trying to lay that club back a little bit more, almost feeling like for me it's shallow, and then working on, of course, at the top of the backswing, trying not to get that one across the line, wanting to get that one a little bit more neutral. You can see in some of these clips I've got some freeze frames and some comparisons for you. There is definitely some progress being made, but it is a never-ending journey with anybody that plays golf. You know how that is. And just walking through some of these clips, you can see the consistency is there. I'm hitting it actually really nicely right now, but as you can see, coming down, still starting a little bit early and just catching those a little bit over the top or a little bit outside to in. So here we go, a good slow motion. You can see what I'm working on, feeling that wrist set and then holding that face and just being able to rotate through the swing. That's the goal there, is being able to create that angle and then just be able to rotate as hard as I want. You see a lot of guys like Justin Rose really try to implement that in their swing. Also, something that I've noticed that has helped, as you can probably see as well, I've gotten a little bit closer to the golf ball, trying to get a little bit more over the top as well. And there you can see, stopping at the top, much better angle, but still the goal is to try to get that butt of the club pointing more towards the ball. So we're getting close, but still you can see plenty of work to be done to get that one laid off a little bit more. I'm okay with that at the top as long as you can still shallow it. And as you can see in this next frame, not shallowing it, it needs to really be more down the arm position. Again, pointing back towards the ball is going to be a better spot for that club to be in that one. So you can still see there's definitely improvement in where I've got that club, but not quite. And look at that, as you can see, my arm angle pointed towards the ball and that club way out in front of my hands. That's where that over the top is coming from. So plenty of work still to be done, but overall we're getting there. We're seeing improvements, but as you can see, plenty of work still to be done. We'll finish that through with the slow motion, and then we'll take a couple more looks here at some other things that we're working on as we move into our next practice swing. Just again, trying to focus on that wrist set there and then being able to rotate through. That's the feeling. I can get that feeling in the practice swings, but struggling to find that in the downswing, find that spot where I can really just rotate hard through. And you can see I've got some face-on angles as well. I think you'll be able to see where some of that trouble is coming in. I think it's a lower body issue on a lot of that downswing, but without being able to hold that angle, it's not going to matter what the lower body's doing. And here you go. This is a good comparison of my last video. You can see driver swing, how across the line it is, and this is from today. Much more on plane at the top, so really happy with how that's looking. That's a big difference. Of course, with the driver it is a little bit different because of when I get to the top I am over swinging a little bit, but you can see as we start the downswing on this driver, it is so far out in front of my hands, and with that it is over the top every time. A decent position at the very bottom at impact, but at that point it's too late because it's exiting so far inside. Really not much of a chance to save that one. So you can see some comparisons on some of the improvements, but also plenty of work to be done. And now here we go on to the face angle. This one you can see on a couple of these swings it feels to me when I'm watching it a little bit clunky, but the positions are actually pretty decent here. We'll go through a couple of slow-mos, but again, decent from a lot of these positions. I'm happy with where I am. Just a couple of tweaks that need to be made as we set up here for the next one. It is nice and steamy out there, taking my time to get to the next swing. And setup position, happy with this. I do want to work on getting a little bit more extension in the arms. Got too much elbow bend, I think. Just need to stand up a little bit better. But a good shoulder turn, good with the hips coming through, and good contact. And we'll move on to now a couple of still frames where you can see once it's slowed down and once it's stopped where some of the improvements need to be made, and I think this is where you're going to see a lot of big changes coming up in the golf swing for me. So here, slow motion up to the top, good shoulder turn as you can see there, really happy with that, and good hip turn. But one of the things that you'll see there is my lead leg. A lot of collapse in that knee. Got to get some strength going there. Need to do better job of keeping that. I'm fine with a little bit of flexion there, but you can see it's really collapsed on. And then once I go through this swing, good extension in the legs, good job of getting the hips through. But I think it's just not giving myself enough time with the lower body to clear, to get that upper body in a good sync motion as well. We'll go on to the next swing here. We get it up to the top, and as you can see as we start the downswing, there's that what I had mentioned there with that knee firing, doing a good job of getting it out in front and good angle here with the hands. Those are two big checkpoints for me. Happy to see those. But at this point, like I said, with how much that knee is collapsing in, it's hard to keep that momentum, and as you can see I would like those hips to be a little bit more clear. I do like where that position is with the club at impact, but again would like to probably stand up a little bit more so those arms are nice and fully extended, so I'm getting all of that I can get as far as momentum from the club head down to the ball. So overall, a lot of things to be happy with, but you can see just a couple of little things that will definitely hurt when you're coming down through impact or just sequencing in the club. Really got to work on, for me, core strength is a big one. And there's another position of just after impact. You can see again still have not quite released those arms. Need to get those extended out to just really be releasing the club. That's losing some of that momentum here, holding that face off. Really need to do a better job of releasing that club head as well. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. I appreciate you, as always, joining me. Hope you will subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. I would always appreciate it, and it's free. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my new videos as they come out. Hope you enjoyed some of those thoughts that I'm going through with the swing changes, some of the things that I'm trying to improve on, and hopefully it gives you a good idea of things that you might be able to work on in your golf swing as well to improve some of those, maybe get a little bit more distance or just consistency with the ball striking, as that's what I'm trying to do in my game here. Again, I appreciate you watching, and feel free to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all for the next one. Bye.